Hello, everybody. Welcome to another of our top earner interviews. Today, I've got Leslie Hocker and Ron Forrester. How you guys doing?
We are doing fantastic.
I've known these. How long have we known each other?
Mid-90s?
Back to 94,
95?
So 25 years.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't seem like yesterday.
Somebody just told me that right now we're as close to 1980 as 1980 was to 1940.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I went, oh my goodness, I'm getting older. What in the world is going on? So, we've known each other a long time. I know some of your story. I don't know some of your story, right? You're a part of our Next Level Mastermind. You're a high earner inside of the network marketing profession, have been for a long time. Mm-hmm. At a certain stage, you go from just being a distributor and an earner, and you become a little bit of an ambassador. You're like a knight. You're a protector of the network marketing profession. Mm-hmm. You're a crusader for improvements and helping to grow our standards and practices and everything else as we go around the world. I'd like to go back and find out from you, prior to network marketing, what was your story? What was your upbringing? What kind of a person were you prior to this? And then how did you get introduced to network marketing? Let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm the oldest of 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you a little bit about my personality right there.
Right.
I was a swimmer. I was an athlete. I actually got the first athletic scholarship given to a female athlete at the University of Oklahoma. I swam on the men's team my freshman year.
Wow.
So a little bit of a not afraid to step out there, pioneer. My parents very much empowered me to be the best I could be. And so I went to school. I got a business degree that's specific for the oil and gas industry, the petroleum
mm-hmm.
industry. And I'm about the 5th or 6th female to get that degree. So I graduated, moved to Houston, worked my way up. It's an exciting time. I came out of school out of university before the oil embargo in 79. So I went fast. So I got to the executive level, which was exciting. And I looked around and I thought, I'm never going to get where I got like 38% raise in 1 year, just 3 raises, multiple. They were trying to keep people in the company I was working with. So with 2-3 years experience, I'm at the executive level. It was fun. It was exciting. But I looked around and I thought, I don't want to do this in my 50s. I don't want to go to work in the dark. I don't want to come home in the dark. I don't want to work weekends. It's fun now, but I'm not doing that. So to get ahead.
And how old were you at the time?
I was about 28.
Okay.
And so I thought, to get ahead, I need to own a business. I need to be in business for myself. So I started exploring, and I actually opened the first Pilates studio in Houston. Now, everybody says, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm like, no, it wasn't. 1984, no one had heard of Pilates. And I'll never forget, we always laughed about this. My father came to the opening of my studio, and he was walking around kind of looking what
are these contraptions?
Yes. And I thought, what is wrong? And then I stood back, putting myself in his shoes, and went, oh my God, this looks really weird. But I was having to educate people to a need. And at the same time, I was still working full time in the petroleum industry. At the same time, my next door neighbor said, hey, come look at this company, Health and Wellness. Well, I was an athlete. Word of mouth made sense. And we always talk about residual income made sense because I got an override on every deal I put together, which is what we call them in the petroleum industry. I got an override on everything that I worked on. So I was already getting residual income, and it just made sense to me. And so I was terrible. I thought I knew more.
So you didn't know each other at the time?
No, we did not.
So the first time you were introduced to network marketing, you were 28?
Yes.
Okay.
And, so should I say, 19, a long time
Sure,
ago,
that's
28.
fine.
I say I've been a young entrepreneur my whole life.
Right.
I love to travel. I love to have fun. So I'm still a young entrepreneur.
Right. So you get involved, and that's kind of your story leading to this.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a good student in high school? Were you a good student in college? All that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, pretty good student.
I was a A student in my major. So what I was interested in, I excelled in.
Were you an entrepreneurial person growing up, or more corporately minded?
Just, I think more my generation, women didn't always go to college. So my father was always saying, well, the boys, when they go to university, and I can remember my mom saying, and the girls. So it was just that they gave me an environment that I could be whatever I wanted to be. And I think the swimming, so I excelled.
That was kind of a breakthrough deal.
Yes. So what ended up happening was I learned how to set goals. I learned how to compete against myself. I learned how to be out there, to work with a team, be within a team.
It's funny how little decisions have a big impact, right? So let me ask you this. When did you start swimming?
I was 12.
Okay.
So kind of late.
And was it encouraged by your parents?
It was something all 5 of us could do.
Okay.
All 5 children.
Okay.
To keep us out of trouble.
Right. So it was a coping mechanism for mom?
Well, my cousin actually knew Mark Spitz.
Okay.
And Brian Jobe.
Connected
and
with the family.
My cousin swam with him. And so it was...
so there's a little bit of a connection.
Yeah.
You're like close to the fire.
Yes.
But have you ever thought about what would happen to your life if you didn't swim?
I'm sure it would be totally different because I wouldn't
just that one little decision.
The confidence to be in a men's world.
Right.
Yeah.
The confidence, going to college, doing all these different types of things, competing with men, finding your place in the world. Interesting.
It is. I hadn't really thought about it. And what's interesting also is I set all of that aside because you're a young person, you're graduating, starting a new career. And I set it all aside. And then a couple of years in, I went, wait a minute, all these lessons I learned.
The principles came back.
Yeah. And that's why I excelled so quickly in corporate.
Yep. You apply the same principles. Love that. Ron, how about you?
I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks.
Really?
Yes. We were a family of 4 kids. I was the oldest, so again, how 2 oldest can work together. We actually were tenant farmers for a dentist.
Okay.
Had about 500 acres and ran 200 head of cattle.
Where's this?
Outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
North Carolina, all right. So you're tenant farmers. So you just lived on this person's farm and ran the farm for him.
And my mom and dad both worked in textile plants because that's a textile center, or was. And so at the age of 7, I'm already driving a tractor, working on the farm. Not just driving it, the rest of them were throwing hay bales on, stuff like that, or taking the hay off. But I did have a set of chores to do and all this. You asked a question a few minutes ago, made me think of something. And I was very blessed. I was loved, and I knew it.
Okay. I would say the same.
I knew it. And that gave me a lot of confidence. My mom and dad both were very goal-oriented. My mom was the valedictorian for her class. She was a woman in 1930s that were given a full ride to college. Now, she didn't take it.
Big deal.
Because they were also tenant farmers and she needed to go pick cotton. Okay. My dad never graduated the 8th grade, but he's the smartest man I ever knew. And that's not coming from an appreciation of one's father. In 1953, I can remember so clearly, the World Book encyclopedia salesmen were making their rounds. And my dad bought a set of encyclopedias for the kids and then proceeded to read every page.
Wow. Okay.
And I never will forget him doing that. He'd sit down in the evening and he would read out of the World Book. And then he would ask, he said, would y'all know this? Would you ever thought about this and this kind of thing? So it was a fun time. I was, though, blessed in the fact that I had plenty of love. I never lacked for food because we had a 2-acre garden, which we had to work, and that is a big garden to work, plus the animals and everything. So we had plenty of food. We had plenty of love, but I didn't have plenty of things that I wanted. I never lacked for anything that I needed. For instance, hog food comes in 100-pound sacks, cotton printed sacks called shotes. My mom would unravel those sacks and lay a shirt or a pajama pattern on them and cut my shirts and my pajamas. I was 12 years old before I had a store-bought shirt, and I bought it. So
When you were 12?
When I was 12. My first entrepreneurial, we're talking about entrepreneur. My dad was very much entrepreneurial, taught me, and my mom taught me, if you can conceive of something, you can do it, okay? Whatever your mind believes, you can do it. Well, at 9 years old, I had my first business. I hired myself out to the women in the neighborhood.
First time he said that to me, I went,
Okay.
all right.
He did too. I cut their grass. I got the leaves off their roof. I mopped and waxed their kitchen floors, carpeted, vacuumed their carpets and stuff like this. Anything I could do to make $1 to do it. Leslie once gave me an ultimate compliment. Whenever we first got together, we were not married when we first got together. We were business partners. And we actually got married 8 years after we became business partners because a friendship developed and got deeper and deeper. And the first time we were in a home together, and I wanted to clean, vacuum, I'm going around the edge of the room with a broom.
Let's basically say I said to him, you clean house better than any roommate, friend I've ever known.
Well, a vacuum cleaner
That's what I
doesn't pick
learned.
up around the corners.
Right.
That's when I learned the story.
That's where I learned how to do that. And then when I was 12 years old, I did buy my first store-bought shirt. As a matter of fact, from that point forward, I bought all my clothes.
How did your parents respond when you bought the first one?
They were
Were they
very
offended?
No, they were grateful. They were grateful. I didn't go out on a really far out on the line and buy expensive stuff. I bought good, solid. If you remember Farrah pants, okay, Farrah pants. All right, good, solid Farrah pants, like jeans.
Yep.
A little bit upscaled. So we and these will bring back some really good memories, Eric. I'm the shyest, most introverted person you've ever met. You're looking at me, okay? Now in school, God blessed me with a very good brain, okay? A very good brain. You want me to do something? I can do it, okay? And the teachers knew that. My whole school, all grades, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, was 472 people. I knew them all. None of them were in my clique. None of them were great friends. As a matter of fact, I just basically knew their names because I shied away from developing any kind of relationship because I was really shy.
What
really
caused you to be
introverted.
shy, do you think?
Really introverted. I think I've thought about this often. It was a combination of being the tenant farmer, okay, not having the things that the other kids did or the quality of things that the other kids did. For instance, there's a pair of shoes that was very popular at the time. They were called Weegians. I couldn't get a pair. Just simple penny loafers, okay? I couldn't get a pair. So things like that made me think, even though I knew better, I had external indicators that what my internal feelings were incorrect.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think other people categorized you a certain way, or do you think you categorized yourself?
I categorized myself, okay, because things happened. Very good things happened.
And the reason why I asked that is the first thing you said out of your mouth when we started this conversation, is I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. And this story does not sound like you grew up on the wrong side of the tracks at all.
I'm going to tell you why. This is why. April the 17th, 1963, in my 10th grade, 11 o'clock in the morning, I can still see the Carolina blue sky. I can still smell the grass that had been cut that morning. I can still hear the kids playing on the swings. Mm-hmm. I'm coming out of the gym, headed toward the high school. It's a T, high school, elementary gym. I'm headed toward the high school. Nobody on the sidewalk. Nirvana. Oh my God, I don't have to talk to anybody. Fabulous. Okay. So I get about 60 feet out of the gym, and down the high school steps comes the number one most beautiful girl in school, the blonde, blue-eyed, head cheerleader, drum majorette that everybody lusted after, including me. Mm-hmm. And what's going on in my head, though, at that time is this. And I can call her name because I told her this story. I told her this story in 2002. She cried. This actually happened in 1963. So I say in my head, man, there comes Sandy. Can I turn around, go back? No, maybe she'll go down to the elementary school. I don't have to worry about it. No, she's coming this way. Can I turn around and go back? No, that'll be too obvious. I can't do that one. What can I say? Well, more than saying I'm too nerdy. I can't do that. What can I say? I didn't get a chance to say anything. We got as far as from here to that corner, and I'm looking about a 15-foot distance, and she took it all away from me. She said, "Hello, stuck up." Now that sounds awful, but that's the best thing that could have happened. Because now I can tell you what she had on. I can tell you what I had on. I can tell you what she said to me. I cannot tell you what I said back to her. But the rest of that day, my body was in class. My mind was not. I was going through so many options about, you have got to change. Now, this is really important, people. You have got to change. You've got to take hold of this. You've got to change. If you don't change, your life is going to be miserable. If you don't become of service, if you don't become entertaining, if you can't hold a conversation, your life is going to be miserable. You got to change.
Sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
At 3 o'clock that afternoon, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I went and got myself a job as a curb hop. Now, we didn't have the little short skirts and the skates like the Sonic Drive-In girls do. As a matter of fact, we had a gravel driveway. But the reason I chose curb hop is, how does a curb, in the first place, many people don't even know what a curb hop is. That's the people that go out to the car and take the order, go back into the restaurant.
Bring it back out.
Pay for it. That's an entrepreneurial job, entrepreneurial position. Pay for it, bring it back out, collect the money for it, and a tip, hopefully. Well, how do they really make their money? Because that restaurant paid me $1.85 a day to do that. Okay? They make their money in tips. How do you make good tips? Being of service, being communicative,
being pleasant,
having humor, And so I made the decision to do that because I knew that that would make me change. I hated it. Hated it. But I did it every day. Every day. You realized the benefit of it one time yourself. When was that prepaid legal? 2001, 2002. 2002. We're sitting in the audience. And remember, one of the speakers had gotten sick. I'm not going to call his name. He'd gotten sick. And Harlan came to us out there on the floor and said, "I need you guys to help me. One of the speakers has gotten sick, and I need somebody to take his place." And we asked him when, and he said 30 minutes from now, or 20 minutes from now. Well, how long did we speak? 30 minutes. Okay. So we go back behind the stage. And to show you that I still work on this shyness, this introversion every single day, go back behind the stage, I need to go to the restroom, okay? So I go to the restroom, I'm finished my business, I'm washing my hands, And the stage manager comes in and asks me, Ron, are you okay? Yeah. No, she asked me again, you sure you're okay, Ron? Yes, I'm okay. You've done this before. She was new stage manager. I said, yes, I have. She said, well, what are you doing in the women's restroom?
Funny.
14,000 people laughed with me that day too.
Yeah.
So I work on it every day. Don't quit.
Right.
In order to be have success at something, you have to work on it every day. Okay.
So that little defining moment where you got out of your shell, because I'm introverted by nature too. It's worked for me. Still to this day, I lose energy in a crowd. I need to, solitude's good for me. I spend a lot of time in my head thinking about things, vision and strategy.
Same thing.
Other types of things. But when it's time to turn it on, I've learned how to turn it on. Because I think a lot of introverted people are not, sometimes it's out of fear, sometimes it's out of habit, sometimes out of programming, but also sometimes it's out of a little bit of selfishness to protect their energy because they know they lose it.
I could see that.
You know what I mean? It's just like, no, I'm not going to give it. I don't feel like giving it. Like going to a cocktail party for me with a bunch of neighbors or something is flat torture. I'm just waiting for it to be over.
Yes.
So I got to decide for my wife's sake, because she loves it.
Yeah.
For her sake, to try and just light up and go say hi to everybody, go shake all the hands. And sometimes I'm successful. A lot of times I'm not. It's an interesting time.
In a situation like that, I have to make a decision. Okay, am I going to go high? Am I going to go low?
Yes, it's
If
one
I
of the
go
two.
low, I'm going to be
Just in the corner.
calm, collected, stand over here in the corner.
And everybody's going to say, what's wrong with that? Because when I go low, everybody, what I learned is my energy is powerful.
Yeah.
So if I go low, I can dim the entire
room.
electrical grid
Yes.
of the whole city block. Goes, and everybody goes, what's wrong? Is everything okay? Is it all right with them? Like, no, I'm just thinking about stuff. Leave me alone. But
if I go in high
I
energy,
can light it up.
yeah, so
Yeah,
but you have
it's
to make
really a
that choice.
decision.
You really have to make that choice.
Yeah. So you get through.
Something happened though.
Go ahead.
Something happened as a result of that. It was really a significant part of. It was validation that I'd made the right decision. Very early validation. One of my good friends, by the end of my 11th year, remember I was a curb hop the entire 11th year. One of my good friends, who was the principal's son, came to me and said, I want you to run for senior class president. I said, you're crazy. I'm going to vote for you. You got your posters up and everything like that now. He said, yeah, but go put up 2 posters. You'll win. I said, you're crazy, but I'll do it. I put up 2 posters and I won. So it was validation of the action I had taken plus the dedication to the action, which has to take place in our respective love of our business too.
So you get through high school. You have this breakthrough, really important defining moment early in your career or in your life, and you probably had many of them on the farm. Did you go to college?
Oh yeah.
And graduate?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And after college, then what?
I took a 6-year course in 3.5 years and became a doctor of pharmacology.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So.
And I worked 40 hours a week at the same time, and I renovated a 100-year-old house at the same time.
What caused you to do all that stuff when other people didn't do the same kind of effort?
Well, I had a little bit of an impetus. I had 2 small children, 12 and 4.
So you started young.
12 and 4. And the GI Bill was not
And
going to pay me but 48 months, and it wasn't enough.
So you were in the Army too?
Yeah.
I was in the Navy and wound up in the Marine Corps.
Oh my God.
I was a Navy corpsman. So
how'd you have time to do all this stuff?
I
You
just
go to school and everything else and have kids.
I slept 4
Was
hours
it
a
Sandy from the 10th grade? Was it,
No.
It was somebody else?
No, someone else.
I slept 4 hours a night.
Okay. My gosh.
But I dedicated to it. I knew that I could do anything for a short amount of time. I had my short amount of time in place.
What was the short amount of time?
3.5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
For what?
To be able to do all the coursework. If I added 6 hours a course, 6 hours per semester, and a couple extra labs, and go through summer school, then I could graduate in 3.5 years to 6. I would have to petition out of the rest of it But my experience with the military would make that possible, and it worked. As a matter of fact, it changed the policies at the university. It's written into the policy manual now. If you start, you must attend 6 years.
They lost money on it.
They lost money because you get paid federal money for every 1 year now.
Sure. All right, so you get out. You do, fast forward me to getting introduced to network marketing. How long did that take?
7 years.
7 years later.
No, it actually it started in 1972, right after I got out of service. My next door neighbor was very successful. Well, he wasn't very successful at that time, but he started trying to recruit me then, but he wasn't able to recruit me for 7 years. Bill Britt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Amway. Back in
Bill
the day.
Britt. He started recruiting me when he was still making
I
$12,000.
was going to say it was either that or Coscott Interplanetary or Shackley maybe back then.
I didn't even know those existed. But Bill did something that was a lesson for me too. He kept in touch with me on a very regular basis, almost monthly. Very rarely did he miss a month of, check this out. But at that time, I had a young man's head problem. The young man's head problem was, I'm a pharmacist. I make $50,000 a year. You only make $12,500. And you're a town manager, and you're going to tell me how to get rich? Right. See, like that.
Right.
7 years later, when I'm working 77 hours a week, can't see my kids, and that doesn't include drive time, I'm on the job 7 days a week, 11 hours a day. I did that for 18 months. That's whenever the paper, the inside page of that Chapel Hill newspaper came out on him, the whole article. And the title was, Bill Britt completes the largest real estate transaction. And the subtitle was, Ever in the History of Chapel Hill. The first thing I had to do was say, I got to go talk to Bill. Well, since South Carolina, it was like how you get a mule's attention.
Yeah.
No, don't do that one. Do not do that.
Don't do that one? Well,
She's editing the jokes.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'll tell you why later.
That's all right.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's okay. So here's the thing. This is 48 years ago.
Well, I have been now in this arena. I began 48 years ago. In 1980, I said yes.
So he said no for 7 years.
I said no for 7 years.
So, okay.
No.
Which is a great
Got it.
training in itself.
So 40 years ago, you finally say yes.
Yes, because of that article.
Now, I want to ask you a couple questions, and then I'm going to rapid fire because I want to cover, and the story is just amazing to me. Not making any income claims about any particular time. I'm just talking about historically, accurately, honestly. Have you ever added up how much the two of you have made in your career?
We were talking about that.
There's some discrepancy.
Can you give me a range?
We both built individually.
Between 18 and 20.
Between 18 and $20 million over the course of your career. You're currently a high income earner, currently one of the top people in your company, if not the top people, I don't know exactly. But I believe that success leaves clues. I believe that your experience matters. I believe longevity says a lot. There's people who can make it for a year or two, and there's other people that can stand the test of time, which takes a different muscle, emotionally, to stand the test of time, to be mature enough, humble enough, to be able to keep pivoting.
Constant.
You guys are part of our Next Level Mastermind where we talk about new ideas all the time for six-figure earners and above. And it's, the average is much higher than that. But some people are just like, nope, I'm not going to do this social media thing. Nope, I'm not going to do this technology stuff. Nope, I'm not going to buy a microwave oven or whatever. You know what I mean? They stay in their old ways and they don't pivot. But you guys have proven that you're willing to, because for the sake of your team, for the sake of continuing to evolve as human beings and as leaders, that you're willing to pivot. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Start with you back again, Leslie. What's your favorite thing about network marketing?
My favorite, so when I first started, it was all about me and giving myself more choices. And when I had accomplished that, it was, oh my gosh, I could do this for other people. So my favorite thing is being able to empower others to have more choices in life, whether that doesn't always mean money.
Contribution of some sort.
Yes, that they could do the things they love. So
what's your favorite thing?
It mirrors what hers is, but it also, one of the most favorite things about this is I get to talk to different people every day, and I stay young. And you talk about pivoting.
When you talked before, you said, "Oh God, here comes another person. I hope I don't have to talk to him." Now you get to talk to people every day.
Yes, I get to talk to people every day, but you got to remember, I still make myself do it. I love the stories. I love helping somebody. There is nothing that is more empowering to me than watching my people walk across that stage, being awarded, being recognized for their accomplishments. You know, I help do that. I help do exactly what she said, empower people to change their life.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, and usually in these conversations, we're all really good at talking about what's great and all the fluffy, happy, things. We're good at advertising what our network marketing career is. But there's another side of it. There's, like any profession, there's pain involved, and there's dark times, and there's things that are annoying. And so, Leslie, back to you. What's your least favorite thing about network marketing?
Well, that's an interesting question.
What's super annoying?
People that, what's annoying is when I'm trying to help people and somebody that's supposed to be helping me, because this is a business of people helping people. I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about our team, but somebody that is supposed to be empowering me is trying to tear me down because I'm having success.
Politics.
It's surprising because corporate has politics, network marketing has politics.
Ours is a little more personal.
The difference is I can, I know I can choose to walk away, and I know I can focus on what I can do. It's an interesting mix. It's fascinating to me that other people don't always want you to have success.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
And
even people who financially benefit.
Yes.
They still sometimes will sabotage your efforts just because for some emotional reason, or they feel threatened or whatever. Lots of different things.
That's probably that was the most shocking to me.
Yeah, we have an expectation gap. There's our expectations here, and then there's reality here. And the difference between expectations and reality is how happy or unhappy we are. If it's a big gap, we're unhappy. So if we expect that we're going to get all this support and all this love and all this caring and all this partnership and it's not there, but if we don't expect it, we're happy. Because anything we get is going to be a bonus. What's the least favorite thing for you?
People that don't plug into the system. When I say system, anything that you're successful at came through implementing yourself, inserting yourself into the system that had been put in place before by people who did it successfully. And whenever you do it successfully, you'll have the same kind of success. So they'll sign up and take off down through here. Waste their best people, waste their life, waste their money,
waste their time,
not listen. That's the most aggravating thing to me.
It's annoying, especially when you know.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing this for 40 years. You've been doing it for 40 minutes.
Yes.
Come on.
4 weeks.
Yeah. What are you most proud of? If you're looking back, say, you know what? I did that.
I'm most proud of, I built a company, and then, I grew, and then I moved to another company. And then we went off and did some other things, and basically 2006 stopped building, said we're done with network
Kind of
marketing.
retired,
Yeah. And in 2011, and I say that because think about when we first started it, there was no, you couldn't do conference calls, there's no internet. I remember when faxes first came. So remember those fax backpacks? It was hilarious. And then the big, you had to mail
VHS.
everything. So what I'm the most proud of is that in 2011, the end of 2011, we were able to start with a new company when everybody told us, you're out of your mind, you're crazy, what are you doing at your age? And we were able to pivot and do it again. And it took us about a year and a half. And, I think it took us about a year and a half, and hopefully it's okay to say, but in a year and a half, we created $1 million a year income in 15 months. But I always told people it's not because we were so good, it's because we'd ridden that bike before. We'd been practicing for
A long time.
years,
A lot of
25 years
experience,
so we were able to take all of that and then figure out what was working then. And 2011 to 2020, things have, and I think it's really because we both love to learn.
So you're saying you're most proud of reinventing yourself?
Yes, most proud of reinventing myself, be able to launch again, do it again, but we did it 10 times, like 5 times faster than our plan was, which is...
That's fun.
It was fun.
It was.
That's when you are like, wait, how do you set goals for this?
Right. What are you most proud of?
You mentioned something a few minutes ago. Could I do this again? Could I do it? The people ask their questions. Can they do it? Can they do it again? Have doubts about it? I don't have any doubts.
Right.
I've done it again.
Yeah.
And I've done it again. I've done it again. I've done
A lot
it
of people
again.
can do it
I've done
once.
again.
Yeah.
I've done it 5 times. I don't see any reason why it can't be done again.
Yeah.
And this is something that troubles me. It troubles me a great deal about people that don't have that confidence in themselves, regardless of whether they're introverted or not, don't have the confidence to be able to say, yeah, I can do this. I'll do this.
Well, some of them get involved in right place, right time, momentum, whatever, but they never develop the skills. Once you develop the skills and the mindset and strategy in your head, you might have to start over here and there, but you never really have to worry about paying the bills for the rest of your life. You're done.
There's you're always going to be rebuilding.
Yeah.
Things happen.
We're in 2 businesses, the building business and the rebuilding business.
Right.
I mean, there's no such thing as build it once, have it forever.
I
It doesn't
really
exist.
wish we could, there's so many people that are so talented that they could do it again, but really it's like you said, it's the belief. They don't believe in themselves.
And we look at them, we know who they are. And hey, I'll believe in you long enough until you believe in yourself. Just do it.
Yeah.
So tell me about, what is this, being involved in this profession, allowed you to do that you wouldn't have been able to do without it?
First thing that comes to mind, spend time with family, travel, spend time with each other. When my father had a stroke, I'll never forget this. This was in the late 90s. And Ron said, go help your mom. She lived in another city. And my brothers and sisters, none of them, we all are very close. We're a very close family. Anyone would have gone, but they all had jobs. So I was able to take my laptop, my cell phone, and go. And I was over there several months. And for me, personally, the travel and hanging out with family, but to be able to be there for family.
Yeah, that's super cool. And we glossed over, how did you guys meet and how long have you been together?
Well,
We met in 1990.
We met in 1990. The company still exists today, Lifestyles.
Yeah.
Okay. I was.
Ron was he's not going to say it. Ron was the #1 distributor.
Yeah.
And I
was
joined
sidelined.
maybe 6 months later, and I was a rising star. I'll say that
she
about
was a
myself.
sideline.
I got involved, and it was fun. And we connected.
I'm going to tell this. I'm going to tell, because she doesn't tell it right.
All right.
Okay.
Tell it right.
Oh, no.
She doesn't tell it right. The company did a crazy thing. They sent a glossy of me as a pharmacist out because that was a weight loss product. Had all my contact information on it, everything. So what do you think happened?
Everybody called you.
Everybody would call me. I don't have any confidence in the person trying to recruit me. I want you to sign me in as if it's going to help.
Right.
Okay? And I would listen to them for a while and get some information from them as to who they were talking about, enough to be able to chase it down. Then I would tell them, no, I'm not going to do that. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'll give you an hour of my time a month to teach you. But you got to call me. I won't call you. Okay? Got off the phone one time because I had a call from a woman from New Orleans who owned a 400-size trucking company. This woman was successful. She knew she could do it. Okay? She told me, don't have any confidence. I called the home office. I said, who is this person's name? And I'm not going to call her name.
I can't remember her name.
Okay. I still know her name. And the company told me, well, she was enrolled by Leslie 2 weeks ago.
Because I'd only been in for a couple of weeks.
I had heard
Maybe a
Leslie's
month.
name twice at that time. Okay. So I said, well, give me Leslie's phone number. And so I called Leslie and I said, hello. She said, hello. I said, this is Ron Forrester. She said, oh my God. Oh my God.
So
What are you
not
calling
true.
me for? What are you calling
so
me for?
not
It's
true.
so not true. My brother goes, that doesn't sound like Leslie. What
I
really
swear,
amounted to.
I swear it happened. But
I was skeptical.
He can remember what he was wearing when he made that phone call.
I know.
I can tell you where I was sitting.
Here's what was powerful, Eric. Think about that. Ron did the right thing,
Yeah, of
integrity-wise.
course. Yeah,
We
I get
never would have connected.
Yeah.
I was skeptical, like, why is this guy calling me to tell me this person to be good? I was used to that day and age.
it. So you had a
It was
conversation
cutthroat.
and all this stuff. So tell me when it turned into more than that.
We realized that we saw each other several
Philosophy,
times on stage and
stage.
things and doing trainings, and we realized our philosophies and training styles were similar, and that
We
our
cared
goals
about
were similar.
people,
We cared about people. We
helping
cared about
people.
them having success. And so we agreed that when we had a chance again, we would partner up and, work a company.
Mm-hmm.
That opportunity didn't come until 1993. This was in 1990 whenever that conversation took place.
So you tell me it took you 3 years to kiss her?
No, it took me a little longer than that.
Yeah, it took about 4 years. Yeah,
4 years?
that's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, it took me a little longer than that. But honestly, the relationship was business.
Yeah.
Developed into a great
We were
friendship.
doing training. Remember, there was no one doing training. We were creating training programs for companies. We were
Yeah.
creating manuals and where we really came together to work the first time was the People's
Oh,
Network.
wow.
That's where we met you.
So how did you get out of the friend zone? That's what I want to find out. The partner zone. When did you go, oh, wait a minute?
Well, we had worked together for about a year and a half. She did the same thing for me that she had done for Tony, put me in speaking engagements and stuff like that. Had a couple of seminars that I taught, and relationship began to get friendship and all this kind of stuff. Then one day we realized there's more to it. We had a board meeting. How are we going to handle this? Started dating on the outside in 96 and got married in 98.
Oh,
It was wonderful. It's been wonderful. Best way to have a wife is work, friendship,
right.
relationship.
So what has network marketing allowed you to do that you might not have been able to do without it?
She mentioned something. I'm going to mention three things. She mentioned about being able to be with family.
Mm-hmm.
My family, none of my family has ever joined me in any of my business.
Typical.
As a matter of fact, whenever I moved to Houston from North Carolina in '93 to start this business partnership, my brother told me, "Why don't you go down there and get a real job?" Okay. Of course, I'd already had far more success than he had had. All this, so I come down, and in 2010, many years later, I get a telephone call from him, and he said to me, he says, we need your help. This economic upheaval has really set us on our tails. All three of my siblings have businesses.
Traditional
businesses.
brick and mortar business.
And Dad's got to go in the hospital, and he's going to need somebody staying with him, and we can't do it. And all you've got to do is have a computer and a phone, and you can stay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it? I said, sure. Went, stayed in the hospital 6 weeks without going out. Went the first time. And then a couple of years later, my sister called me and said, we have to put Mom in an assisted living facility, and it's right expensive, and we're still under the big economic impact. Can you handle this? Sure. How much does it cost? I said, sure, and then asked how much it cost. And I took care of that. And then the third thing is this business is always an outreach type business, and we have particular things that we do in third world countries, and helping those third world countries at grassroots level to change their lives. Do the same thing we do in this business.
Describe what you do in those countries.
Well, we provide jobs. Okay, we will also do little projects that they don't normally expect you to do, like paint schools. Okay, who's going to do that? You're not going to find somebody from the UN sending out a bunch of paint cans for somebody to paint schools, but we did. And you're not going to find somebody buying little permits, $10 permits, to make the citizen of that country legal to be able to do the job he's doing, but we did. And you're not going to find somebody buying extra food for their employees to take home because you can't pay them what they're worth. You can only pay them what the general payment is, but you give them enough food to take home, they can feed their family.
And so, technology transfer.
Technology, teaching them how to do it.
Teaching them how to fish.
Buy the safety equipment and things like that they need, some proper
How long have you been doing
things.
that? You've
been doing that
this
now
for
5 years.
5 years?
4 years.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that was fun. They don't have a lot of entertainment in Nicaragua, particularly because you don't have a whole lot of piped-in TV. Average income there is $600 a year. Okay, good high middle income is $3,600 a year. And just went down there to do a little bit of business and fell in love with the place, fell in love with the people. The towns all have a baseball team, and they play each other. Well, my country manager was a former baseball coach, and so was I. And they were playing baseball with stick bats and yarn balls and in flip-flops and 10 plates for the bases. So the local town closest to us, where we did most of our trade, we outfitted them with gloves and tennis shoes so they could wear them off field, hats and just a shirt and all this kind of stuff. Started teaching them. They started winning, and that got onto the radio. It just blew up to where now it's nationally known. You know, what we're doing is nationally known and nationally sponsored.
How cool is that?
And it is cool. We help rebuild homes. We do water treatment. We do land treatment. You know, this stuff that it's a cause. Okay?
Good for you. Good for you. I got one more question for both of you. This has been amazing. It's been excellent. I have to go with the same flow I've been going with. Start with you, Leslie, and go and finish with you, Ron. A lot of people out there listening or watching are going to say, you know, look, I want longevity. I want big income. I want to be able to contribute to causes that matter to me. I want to be able to spend time with my family. I want to have success inside this network marketing business. What advice do you have for them? I mean, you know, go back, or even if you can give yourself or earlier version of yourself advice to do better than you've done, or, you know, imagine a person in your mind and giving them advice. They're soaking it up, going to listen to every word, and they're going to take action. What advice do you have for them to go out there and be successful?
Several things. It takes time. Really, the biggest piece that I've learned over time is being pulled by vision. So creating in your mind and on paper where you want to go, not judging, take off your judge's robe, not judging, and then every day looking at that and then doing the work. It is work. It's why it's called network marketing. You get to pick the times you do it. I was going to say it's the most fun, but because you get to pick your own time, you get to pick how much time you spend, but really just keeping in mind there's no finish line. Everybody has the next level. And that's really what we do is we empower the everyday entrepreneur to create more moments of joy with a next level plan with focus and clarity. Because most people, they want it, but they don't know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a day by day. It is a slight edge business. I always tell people, because I do a lot of yoga, and I learned a lot about business from yoga, because you don't want to hurt yourself, but you want to push yourself. So if you're not living on the edge, I guess that would be my piece of advice. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space.
Yeah, love it. Ron, how about you? What advice do you have? 40 years of wisdom in 3 minutes.
Okay. Life is a participation sport, and you are in the game 24/7. There are no practice games. The only person that can put you in that game is you yourself. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's the only person. And you only have this second. You don't have those seconds. You got this one, and you got this one, and you got this one, and you got this one. You don't have that one. But you got this one. You got to be the best you can be in this second. You've got to be present in your business in this second. So the biggest advice I can give to somebody is be present in your business. Do like she said, write it down, make a plan for it. 4 things you have to do. Decide what you want. Decide what you're going to pay for it, and that's usually TV time. Make a plan, work the plan.
Love it. Love it. You guys, thank you for the conversation. Thank you for your contribution in the past. And I'm as much as I admire your past, I'm more looking forward to what you're going to do in the future, because you get to take all this experience and wrap it up into the next 12 months, and then take all that experience and wrap it into the next 12 months after that. The legacy that you've already had has been enormous. Millions of people around the world. It's going to be much, much bigger. It's going to go beyond all of our lifetimes. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say this, for your focus on raising. I consider myself a professional in this business, and I have that posture, and you enhanced that posture because of all that you do.
No, it's
for
been a great
all
pleasure.
of us. So I love it.
You grow everybody beyond what they expect to grow. You do it very well.
Oh, thank you, my friend. We're doing this together, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're just getting warmed up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our conversation with Leslie Hocker and Ron Forrester. I hope you got value, and we'll see you next time. Take care.